Tonight on the House of Tiny Tearaways.
Do you want to let your son down?
It's the halfway point for this week's 3 families in the House of Tiny Tearaways. Yesterday, Bradley Skelton took a massive leap in overcoming his eating problem. So will the other families take similar strides today, or is Tanya destined for a fall? 3 desperate families, each overwhelmed by parenting problems that have turned their toddlers into tearaways.
No, I'm not talking to you, Smarty.
They're going to be living here for just 6 days in the hope that they can turn their lives around. The person they're looking to for the answers is clinical psychologist Dr Tanya Byron.
Working with 3 families in such an intense environment is unlike anything I've ever done professionally before, and it is a huge challenge. I'm working with the parents, I'm working with their children, and I'm building a community. It's a tough job to do in a very, very short space of time.
And for the families selected to be part of this programme, this is make or break. This is the House of Tiny Tearaways. As a new day dawns, Callum Carroll is lying awake quietly in his own bed, leaving Mum Claire to sleep in peace. There's no lie-in for Helen Weston, who is trying to feed her children breakfast. But whilst baby Taro tucks in, 3-year-old Tallulah is more interested in playing with her toys.
When you've had your breakfast. You go. Want some toast, little man? Footballer. Are you going to go and play over there? You can have it if you play over there.
Helen and Sean Weston came to the house to tackle Tallulah's terrible tantrums, demanding behaviour and constant rejection of her mum. Halfway through the week, the family have made great progress, thanks to Dad finally taking a back seat, allowing Mum Helen the space needed to form a stronger bond with her daughter.
It's there, waiting for you. You take it to the table and I'll be really cross. Good girl. Good boy. Not so good. Here we are. Toast.
By ignoring her daughter's tears and demands, concentrating instead on Taro's good behaviour, Helen is able to diffuse the tantrum, and Tallulah finally gets on with her breakfast as if nothing has happened.
Good boy.
Hey!
Good boy. You're nice. You're eating like Tallulah. Tallulah's a good girl, eating all her toast.
Earlier in the week, Tanya introduced a sticker chart into the house, designed to shape Bradley's behaviour around food.
I'm going to sit at a table, eat them 2 things, Cocoa Pops and yoghurt. Don't make any fuss, I'm not going to do either.
Very good.
And I'm not going to, and I'm going to wait until everybody's finished. That's what I'm going to do.
Alrighty, give me 5. High 5. Yeah.
So I'm going to have a sticker, aren't I?
Yeah, you are, mate.
Stickers, aren't I?
Yeah. What's going to happen when the yoghurt goes into your tummy?
It will blast off and get sick.
No, you've eaten your Cocoa Pops in your tummy. and then the yoghurt goes in your tummy, and they'd all make friends in your tummy. Wouldn't they?
4.5-year-old Bradley Skelton has refused to eat a proper meal for 2 years. At the beginning of the week, Bradley threw massive tantrums and refused to eat any of the new foods Mum Fleur and Dad Ian put in front of him. But yesterday brought some considerable success at last, as he tried cheese and milk for the very first time. But with just 3 days to go, how much further can they push Bradley's progress? This morning, Fleur has given Bradley his usual breakfast of a bowl of dry cereal and a separate bowl of yoghurt. But following Tanya's advice, she's also encouraging him to try something new again, a piece of apple.
What?
Would you kiss the apple?
Just kiss the apple and make my toasties.
Ah, lovely apple.
At school, there's
okay.
purple. Do they smell like...
All right, mate. All right. Right, toasted Marmite, yeah? Yeah. All righty.
Could I have some toasted Marmite, Mum?
I don't know. Have you eaten all your breakfast?
No, Daddy, you've got to ask
Yeah.
me.
Have
You've
I?
got to ask me.
No, Mummy and Daddy are the boss, not
Yeah.
you.
Tanya, it's Wednesday morning, we're halfway through. Bradley yesterday ate cheese and milk for the first time. Tallulah is bonding more with Mum. Callum slept in his own bed again, and Mum didn't get in with him. Are the problems solved?
No. No, they're not. Bradley has got the most complicated eating problem I've had to deal with ever in this house. But I just think that Fleur and Ian are still very confused.
What work then do you have to do with Mum and Dad so that they're all right when they do go home?
I suppose the way I would describe the Skelton family, and it's the first time I've ever experienced this in the house, ever, with all the families I've treated, is that this isn't so much getting their child's behaviour to change radically, because you can't with a child with a feeding problem like Bradley, but it's much more about them unlearning a huge amount of anxiety-driven behaviour related to his feeding, and really defining the parameters of how they're going to go on. And very gradually, and we're talking months with this child, introduce one new food after another. An approach will work if they stick to it consistently. And I think we've now got the approach, which is clear behavioural boundaries at meal times, which they've now got. He doesn't approach the table with a fuss. He sits there nicely in front of a plate of food and he behaves. Now, that's a huge breakthrough. Plus, from the encouragement approach, we're starting to move him into dairy. So it's a combination of a tough stance with a nurturing, encouraging stance. Children with these kinds of feeding problems generate a huge amount of anxiety, not just in the parents, but in the practitioner. And that's what I have to hold on to myself.
It's a big dog like Tinny. Yeah. You missing Tinny? Yeah. Oh, we'll have to give her a big hug and a stroke when we go home, won't we? Yeah.
The Westons, how big a corner have they turned?
A huge corner. And I think for me, it really was Monday when they showed Tallulah with their body language and their hugging and their kissing and Sean's clarity that she couldn't manipulate them. And I think that for a little girl was quite an overpowering experience, if you remember her face when she was completely just taking it all in. She's really seems to have learnt from it. I still would like Helen to boot up the enthusiasm, so we're going to do some more work around that today. But actually for me today, it's the story behind the problem. There's a very powerful story behind Tallulah's behaviour, which has nothing to do with Tallulah and everything to do with the fact that they are a couple who have met and fallen in love after having had a number of relationships and a number of children between them. But all of that baggage and all of that past is very much shrouding their capacity to be together and to parent their children, particularly Tallulah. And I think we've got to nail that today. We've got to look at that.
That's it, I'm not doing any more now.
Lone parent Claire Carroll from Liverpool was struggling with her nearly 3-year-old son Callum's increasingly aggressive behaviour. Claire was resorting to giving Callum a dummy or letting him sleep in her bed to prevent his tantrums. But last night, Callum slept in his own bed without his dummy for the second night running. When Callum Carroll arrived at this house, he'd spent every night sleeping with his mum.
Yes.
And had a very bad nighttime routine. How was last night for him?
He has now, for 3 nights actually, Sunday night, Monday night and last night, slept in his own bed without his mother, and for 2 nights not had a dummy.
Amazing.
Extraordinary. Last night was a really fascinating night for me. Basically, he woke about 4 o'clock in the morning. She didn't get into bed with him. She sat near him. She tried to settle him. She tried to be boring. So she's learning as swiftly as her son. And for me, that's brilliant.
I found treasure. Don't ever take it out, okay? Go, 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 go. I'm digging, dig. Stop! The map! Come on, let's just keep digging. I'm digging about. Are you, Tallulah? Tallulah.
While Callum plays with the other children in the garden, Mum Claire joins Tanya in the consultation room.
Now, just to remind you, the grey is how long it took him to settle himself to sleep, which he's now doing without a dummy, and I can tell you that that took him just under 20 minutes. No. These black lines are when he was awake, but you were not tending to him. Yeah. So the white ones are when he's awake and you're dealing with him, and the black ones are when he's awake and you're not dealing with him. He woke there, you did something, you went in, you said shh, you walked out, stood by the door a bit, walked out. You then got back into bed. He then lay there awake for ages. He then laid there awake. You then went in and tried again. And then he laid awake for ages.
I know, that's scary.
But for me, this is really interesting because what it's telling you is that your son can be separate and away from you.
Yeah, without even doing anything.
Without being distressed. You see, this is a child who has had trouble separating from you. Yeah. And as we have established yesterday, you've had major trouble separating from him because he is your world. But actually, you can both be apart from each other, neither of you particularly distressed. Yeah. Because he's so used to having you near him but not.
Oh, Mummy's going to bed now. Yeah. Okay, you go to sleep. And he turned around and I went out and he stayed quiet.
What is the impact of this on you? What are you learning from this? I find this fascinating.
If I go into him, he stays awake longer.
Yes. But the thing for me is that he's obviously learning, getting used to his environment, looking around, kind of being quite chilled. He's quite happy in his little space. He's quite happy in his little bed.
Because he did go in yesterday before we were going to bed and said, my bed. And I said, yeah, that's your bed. That's really good. And he went to get in it too early. And I went, not yet, later on. The day was brilliant. Yesterday was absolutely brilliant. Couldn't have had a better day.
What I'm going to do then is I'm going to see if you can have another brilliant day, but I'm going to really, really up the stakes because I'm going to send you out with Callum shopping. How does that make you feel?
I don't know. I'm a bit apprehensive because he's had a lot of cars over the past few days. So I'm a bit like, and he's been quite good when he's asking for dummies. I'm saying no. I really need to put all these newfound skills to the test. Yeah. If you remember, it's all the kind of engaging him with your face. Look at this, look at that. If you see a tantrum coming, distract him. Yeah. And if it gets to it, you either ignore him if you can, or you just take him. And you just take him where you want him to go. And I've been saying that today, Mummy said, and he looks at me as though to say,
all right then.
And he listens.
Yeah, because he's listening, because there's something to listen to.
Yeah,
in the past,
changing my face, I know it as well.
But you've got to get the contrast. We've got to get the bright, happy face and then that face, so he knows the difference. And if you're anywhere in public and he's being really difficult, just hold him and look away for a bit. Just hold him so he really, really knows he just can't mess you.
Yeah.
In order to expand Bradley's restricted diet, Tanya has suggested that Mum Fleur and Dad Ian combine foods he won't eat with food he will. Fleur is making a smoothie, but will Bradley go for it, knowing there's half a banana in it, something he's always refused to eat?
Mummy, what's that got in it?
Try it. When we've had our smoothies, we've got one each.
We've got to have our smoothies first.
Oh, no.
Cheers.
Mummy,
cheers.
Mum.
God, blimey, that is lovely, isn't it?
got loads and loads and loads.
Get it down then, boy.
It's loads and loads.
Who's going to have their chocolate ball first?
Me. I'm gonna.
Ready, steady, go.
I'll finish.
It's quite hard to get down in one go, though, Mum.
Here you go, Jasmine.
finished.
You can have a chocolate ball.
Yoo-hoo! I finished.
Oh, Jasmine beat us.
I don't like that.
That was lovely. I'm going to have my chocolate ball now. Well done, you. That's nice.
I've
won't
already
be having more
finished.
chocolate
I've
ball.
already finished, Mummy. The girls have one. The girls
Yeah, but it's drinking and eating's not a race. Because you
No,
could
it's
give
not a
yourself indigestion. So, therefore, as long as we take our time,
Mummy,
like I've done
I
1, 2,
don't like
3.
that.
I know. Why don't you have one sip and then you can have a chocolate ball? How about that?
I just love those chocolate balls.
Don't wipe it off. Lick your lips. What does it taste like? Ice cream? Yogurt? All the things that you love? Good boy for trying. Well done.
I want a chocolate ball.
Well done, mate.
Mum, Daddy, can I have a chocolate ball? I never have a chocolate ball.
Have a sip, another sip of your drink, please, and you can have a chocolate ball.
Yeah, Jasmine just did it.
Just one.
I don't like it.
Daddy, would you like another one?
Oh, yes, please, Mum.
Will you have some more drink?
I will, yes.
I will.
Can I have a little sip of your drink?
You are so good.
A bit of drink.
Good boy! Well done! Super duper do!
Yes.
Hey, guys,
Jasmine did yes, too.
Tanya has sent Claire Carroll and her son Callum out to the shops to give her an opportunity to apply the technique she's learnt to deal with Callum's explosive behaviour in the real world.
You know, shops where they're going to sell cars, and if we go into that shop, I won't even go into shops anymore, but if we do go in, I have to go into that shop. He'll just ask and ask and ask for the car, and if I say no, he'll cry. But I've got no dummy today. If I go shopping and he cries, I just pop it in, it seems to stop it, and drag him out to shop.
Claire's first task is to get Callum into town without any disruptions.
Callum, don't. Callum, don't. Callum, sit up straight. Please, sit up straight. Look, the window. No, you're being silly with Mummy. Callum, look. Stop being silly. Lying on Mummy. I want Mummy to sit up straight. No. You have to sit your up that way, I will.
With evidence of Callum's tantrum already brewing on the train, how will Claire deal with her worst-case scenario? An enormous toy store filled floor to ceiling with Callum's favourite things. Cars.
Should we have a look?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Right, I'm going to do my shopping.
My hand.
Like that one?
One. Now. Wow. Book. It's book.
Like it?
Okay.
Like it now. Oh, he's excited. Miss Callum, look.
No, Tati. Wow.
Yeah, do you like this one?
No one.
Should we get this one?
No. No.
We'll have to go now then, come on. Go.
Go.
The real test comes when it's time to leave the toy shop without buying Callum a car. Claire employs Tanya's advice and ignores Callum's tantrum. And remarkably, it pays off. After just a few minutes whinging, Callum is back on his best behaviour.
Say bye, cars.
Back.
I thought it'd be better than it was. He held my hands all the way round, but didn't like ask for a specific car. I showed him something, would you like that? He said no. And he walked right round. Had a bit of a whinge, but not like he'd normally do. But I dealt with it, and it wasn't hard to deal with. It's been like a really nice day, and he's had a little cry, but most kids have a little cry if you're pulling them away from something they really like, or they can't have something they really like. So it's been like better than I hoped.
Tanya takes Helen and Sean Weston outside for an activity. Both of them have children from previous relationships, and earlier in the week they revealed unresolved issues, which Tanya believes are creating tensions in their marriage and have contributed to Tallulah's bad behaviour. Tanya has placed cut-out figures in the garden, which she wants Helen and Sean to position to represent how they feel emotionally about the relationships in their extended family.
So we've represented the adults and the children in both your lives. And obviously the ones in your life, Sean, will be blue, and the ones in your life, Helen, will be yellow. And we have these two, I'll just show you here, we've got these two.
That's a Tallulah and Tarot.
Tallulah and Tarot, because it's both of you. Now, what I was really struck by when we were talking the other day is the amount of stress and past history, because of the fact you've just been married, had relationships, had other children, that are kind of pushing into this very loving, very in love, really good relationship. And what I was thinking really is that when you leave the house and you're back in your lives with all these people crowding around you, with all their needs and all their expectations, and your differing relationships with them, my fear is that unless we can today start to look at what you're both feeling, so that you can start to talk about how you can negotiate some of these relationships so that both of you feel happy. My fear is that you will just go straight back into what you had before, because resentments will build up, emotions will come into play, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
Do you think that I'm in the right place, or do you disagree?
No, you're very right.
Yeah? What I'd like to do is ask each of you in turn, you first, Helen, to arrange these people as you see them.
Right. So how have I got to place them, like far away
Worst
or
case,
near?
no. Well, I want to see, how does it feel? Worst case, when things feel really bad, when things are just, it's all crowding in, where are Tallulah and Tarot? Where are all the other children that you both have, and where are the other adults? This is you showing Sean, this is how it feels for me when it gets really bad, when things start to fall apart. And I think Tallulah is your barometer. Tallulah's behaviour will tell you when all this stuff starts to impact too much.
Right.
So distance and proximity is as important. Okay.
Right.
After 4 minutes, Helen has positioned herself and Sean at the front, with 7 of the 9 children close to her.
Really?
Okay, let's have a look. The one thing I'm struck by is where Tallulah is. She's there, is she? I'm just thinking, I'll be honest with you.
You thought she'd be further?
No, I thought she'd be bang slap in the middle of the two of you when things are really bad. Because that kind of...
Well, I actually tend to say they're mine.
Right.
She's with me because I take off.
What do you mean? Oh, what do you mean?
Because I always just walk away. And I take the kids with me.
You mean that's what you've done in previous relationships?
I've threatened it before. And...
So, when there's tension, you gather your children around you.
I've threatened so many times.
That is an issue for me, actually.
What? Tell me.
To walk.
On a regular basis, she threatens to...
Not just lately.
No,
Not
but
just
in the past, if you go back over the years, even before we had Tallulah and Tarot, she was often threatening to leave or for me to go.
It feels to me that your children have... This is hard, okay? Yeah. But it feels to me this kind of easiness to say, right, that's it, I'm leaving and I'm taking the kids with me, are so important to you and so much part of who you are that they can get involved in a relationship, undermine the fabric of a relationship, and then you just up sticks and take them and move on to another one.
No.
No?
My relationships haven't been like that. My relationships have been horrible, some of them.
But this one isn't, is he?
You make it sound like I go with a bloke and then have kids and move
That's
on.
not what I'm
That's
saying.
not the reason I leave sometimes.
That's not what I'm saying, I understand that. Could you both show me what needs to happen with all these people to get you two back here together? Can you see if you can agree on that, how you would like it to be? Okay, so how would you like it to be?
Get them all in there.
Go on then.
When the Skelton family came into the house, 4.5-year-old Bradley was living on a diet of little more than crackers, crisps and yoghurt. His refusal to eat other food was making parents Ian and Fleur desperate with worry. Tanya has helped Ian and Fleur to become less anxious around mealtimes, and as a result, Bradley's begun to try new foods, and his explosive tantrums at the dinner table have subsided dramatically. However, Tanya feels that this is the most severe food problem that she has ever faced in the house, so there's still a long way to go. Sean and Helen Weston were struggling with their 3-year-old daughter Tallulah, despite being experienced parents. Her rejection of mum was driving the family apart. Tanya has encouraged Helen to have more fun and engage with Tallulah to strengthen their bond, and for Sean and Helen to be more visibly united in their approach to parenting their daughter. But with just 3 days left to go, will the Westons be able to reverse Tallulah's behaviour for good? At home in Liverpool, single mum Claire was at the end of her tether, trying to cope with her almost 3-year-old son Callum's aggressive and demanding behaviour, and she'd become afraid to take him out in public because of his unpredictable mood swings. She started to regain control by learning to ignore his tantrums during the day and getting him to sleep in his own bed at night. But away from Tanya's guidance and the security of the house, how will she cope? Still to come.
I said, when it's fresh and it's raw, I want to walk away.
While Bradley plays in the garden with Tallulah, his parents are preparing his lunch. Tanya has asked that they make up a plate with a selection of food on it, some that he will eat and some that normally he won't. Following his earlier success with a fruit smoothie, hopes are high that he'll be able to add a new food to his diet.
I think I'm going to give up work and try and stay at home and feed the kids.
It's going to be a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah. Then they're away.
It is. Would you like to join us for lunch?
I'd love to join you for lunch. Yum, yum, yum. Good. Good.
Small amounts.
Small amounts. Let's get it on the table. I'll call the kids. It is small, babe. That's how we start.
Yeah.
But he will eat the sandwich, the crisps, the breadsticks, the cheese, we hope. Cheese spread, apple, pasta.
It's lovely, isn't it?
And Marmite.
And Marmite. And what we're hoping is that he will try one of these. But
Yeah.
we need to reiterate the rule at the beginning of the meal to
Yeah.
get all his stickers.
Yes.
What are the rules for lunch, Daddy?
The rules for lunch are that Bradley has got to try one of those. Is food on there, and he's got to actually try one and chew away and eat a little bit for me.
One of the teeny new ones?
Yeah, one of the teeny
So
new ones.
all
Sorry,
the
yeah.
nice ones that Bradley knows
Yeah,
is fine?
that's fine. And one of the new ones, if you could just try a little bit, Bradley.
Just one of them?
Just one of them.
Then you get all
anyone
your
you like, you
stickers.
choose.
All your stickers. OK, so what have you been doing this morning, Jazz?
We've been reading books.
Been reading?
And what else did we do? What did we do in the mixer?
Vanilla smoothie.
And who tried some?
Bradley.
Yeah!
You tried some vanilla smoothie?
Yeah.
What fruit did we have in there?
Banana.
Bananas, didn't we?
Delicious.
Cool. Oh, look.
Sorry, Daddy.
Mummy, what's this?
Look, 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 look. One of those cheese strings things, yeah. Let's see who can eat a piece of cheese first.
Oh, no.
What's this?
It's cheese.
Cheese.
I've never had this before. How do I eat this? I've never had this before. What should I do?
Make a funny face. You put it around your eyes and in your eyes.
I don't know about if I put some on my lips like this, like you did with your
Don't
smoothie.
do that.
Like that. And then do I do this? And then lick.
Do it again, Jazz.
Watch me.
Good. And with the rest of your crisps, do a bit more for me. Let me see you do it again, because you're teaching me so well. See if you can get a teeny bit more on there.
Yeah.
Good boy. Good boy. Very good. Now,
Have a sticker, Mum.
Not yet. Not finished our dinner yet.
I'm going to leave you for the hard bit, which is one new thing has to go in. Just a little bit. Not a kiss and a lick, but a little bit. Stick to the rules,
Yes.
which is, it's got to happen. Otherwise,
happen.
yeah. Okay?
Otherwise, no sticks, no nothing.
But I also think tons and tons of praise for this child who is just beautifully doing so well.
A lot.
You stay here.
3, 4,
See you in a minute. All right.
What are you going to eat next, mate? What are you going to eat next?
Sandy went down to look around.
Have you got any of this on your plate, Brad? Brad, have you got any of this?
So I can just feed it. Can you take a little now?
Yeah, look, watch this.
It's lovely.
Lord.
How's this lunch going? Does it feel different, and are you still as anxious about Bradley?
I'm only anxious in that I would like this child to be eating more than I know he's going to be eating, because I am so used to getting quick results that here I am presented with the child who actually I know will not move as quickly in this house as others have with food. But the whole mealtime thing is calmer. He comes to the table now without a tantrum. He sits there and will sit in front of a plate with unfamiliar foods on.
Where's all your pasta gone, Dad?
I ate it all in my tummy.
You never did.
You do.
You can so get a sticker. That is brilliant. Well done. Can you nibble a bit of your pasta, mate, and then you can get your sticker?
Where's the pasta?
She's brilliant. She's really, really good. She's really got it. She's really holding on to her anxiety. She's really clear. She's really well defined. And I have to say, actually, Ian it's very relaxed, and it's really nice to observe now. He's spending a lot of time talking to Jasmine, who always gets pushed out at meal times. So I think that he has made huge leaps since the beginning of the week. I think this is the best mealtime they've had. If I can... Oh, hold on.
What's that?
I'm going to have a little bit of this.
No, I don't believe it. Don't believe it.
Stop.
No, you're not.
Do that one then. I'll do it with you. She's going to eat it. Oh, quick, get it in your mouth, quick.
It's tummy.
Straight
All
in,
in,
because he's
and
going
then
to
we're
get
done.
it. He's going to get it.
Good boy. Good boy.
Let me have a look and see if some...
Oh, that bit.
Oh, well done, son.
Good boy. Well done.
done,
Give
Bradley.
Bradley a clap. Yay!
Did you just eat that? Did you just
He
eat
did that twice.
Are those your bite marks in there? Well done. He's got his sticker. That's as much as it goes. So the temptation is to push him more. Don't.
Right.
If Bradley wants to eat that to get a super-sized sticker, he can. But he's earned his sticker.
I didn't eat your breadstick, I didn't.
No,
Who's got a pinch of breadstick?
you didn't. But you ate some apple. You've never eaten apple before. You ate some apple. Are you proud of yourself? Yeah, well done, well done. Praise be.
After a successful lunch, Bradley is awarded stickers for his efforts.
4 today?
Wow.
What did you do?
And why did you get
This is
4
your new one?
stickers, mate?
Oh, hang on, we're going to go up Wednesday, yeah, that's it.
So you
One.
sat nicely, both
Sat
of you.
nicely, and then you ate lunch, which
ate
you ate
all
the
your
apple,
lunch.
didn't you? You ate your apple and everything, and you liked
And
it.
the cheese.
And the cheese, and you liked it, didn't you?
Oh, it's
You certainly do. Right, you said you was going to get that card, didn't you? You told me you was going to get that.
Helen Weston is doing yoga with the children in the living room.
Wags his tail like a dog. Woo! It's a good one.
Page, next page. No, this way, this way.
Wobbles like a bird, one leg. Ooh.
Now, next page.
Crouches down like a frog.
Ribbit.
You're watching, Tallulah? You have to get up on your feet.
Now you're going to
Bend
do
your
this.
knees. Just bend
Now
it.
you have to
That's
do.
it. Put your hands in there.
And now you have to do is sleep.
Oh, that suits me down to the ground.
Ian and Fleur Skelton have joined Tanya for their afternoon consultation.
How's it going?
okay, better. Still a bit anxious though.
Who?
I still feel a bit like always. He's not doing enough. But I know it's going to be slow enough. I think I've got to get that into my head. It is going to be slow, but I'm just expecting too much from him.
I feel more relaxed with it because I'm not pushing him so much.
Totally.
But it's still
You're
every now,
amazing.
still a little bit wants me. I had to bite me when he was the apple. I said, "Oh, go on!" I did try a little bit to get him to do another, just a little bit.
I
off,
understand.
But it was just, that was nice. So. Yeah, I'm getting there, and I think you were right in a way. A lot of it is about me, isn't it?
I've been pretty tough on you the last few days, but I have to say, today I saw a huge difference. That lunchtime felt really relaxed to me, really relaxed.
Yeah, I just sat
It was
back
really
and-
nice. It was
Yeah,
really,
just-
really nice. Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you, I have been quite anxious as well. Yesterday, I left the house really thinking, is this the right track? And I woke up this morning thinking about Bradley. I've come into the house thinking about Bradley. And what I realise is that Bradley is capable of making everybody feel really anxious about his eating, because I started to feel that anxious.
He's sort of running the show, isn't he? A bit more than we ever thought.
Really, absolutely, but not in a horrible way, because he's a nice kid, but it's just that's what you've given him. I suppose the thing that we need to sort of think about with Bradley is this is a really entrenched food problem. I guess the work we've been doing since Sunday is putting a boundary around what Bradley can and can't get away with. And you've seen in 3 days pretty much that by just putting some very clear boundaries in place, he's now sitting at the table, behaving himself.
Yeah.
He runs to the table, even though he knows you're going to give him something new. He's not having a screaming tantrum. He's drunk some milk. He's putting stuff on his lips and licking it off. He's bitten into an apple and he's eaten some cheese. And that's just by setting...
Huge, isn't it?
Where I'm sitting, it's huge, but I still feel that you don't feel it's big enough.
I'm kind of putting those
no,
bits to the side, and I'm just focusing on him just eating a little bit of apple, and it's not that easy.
This isn't about what goes into him at the
No.
moment. This is about this, you.
Yeah.
We've got to get this sorted out somehow.
What I was going to say, Ian, is that you've put boundaries around Bradley, and already you're seeing some really positive changes in his behaviour. The question is, why is the child behaving like this? His behaviour is symbolic of the fact that he's got a very anxious, very rigid dad and a mum who actually wants to bash her head against a brick wall and tell everybody to leave her alone, but just works really hard to try and keep everybody happy. But actually, in your heart of hearts, you know that your son's not happy at the table and your husband's not happy. Oh, sweet. It's exhausting, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think this kind of thing's quite good for her to get it out. So
For both
it's
of
got to
you.
be buzzing around in there.
He's
I
got
mean,
it to a T. I bash my head against the brick wall and trying to keep everybody happy, and except for myself.
But what do you see, actually? What is happening with everybody? Are they getting more happy? Less happy? Bradley's not eating, and your husband is falling apart and very sad.
Yeah.
From my point of view, your kids are well-adjusted, very intelligent, very attractive children. My concern for you, Fleur, is that because of what you've seen and experienced in your life, I think you're frightened that if you actually let go of this, really cry, really let your husband in, really try and focus on these issues, I think you're frightened that you might just go right down. So you've got to keep it all together, but you won't. But you won't. Because you've got him. And you've got your kids. I think the key thing is you need to give yourself permission. You need to give yourselves permission to have a son who doesn't eat very much for a long time. And to say, but you know what, he will. You need to just say, actually, he's a good weight, he's healthy, he's got enough foods in his diet that are keeping him going in a good way. So, okay, it's going to take us 8 months, 10 months, a year.
But we need to change the atmosphere at home.
Yeah, but you need to give yourself permission not to solve the problem now. You love her very much, don't you?
I do, I think she's great.
The best thing you've got, I think, for your wife at the moment are your big, strong arms to tell her that she's all right and she's not going to fall apart.
It's late afternoon in the House of Tiny Tearaways. Claire and Callum Carroll return from their trip to the shops with good news for Tanya.
How was your day?
Brilliant, really good.
Do take a seat. Pair of socks.
Come on.
Hey, Callum! Callum! What did you do today? Oh, that's good. Now he starts when he sees my face. So just tell me about your day.
I knew it'd be a toy store, but I didn't know it'd be such a massive one. I had no dummy, and I was thinking today I should have had a dummy on me just in case that bad.
Oh.
And he was like being dead calm and nice, holding my hands, looking in the windows. And I'd say, come on, we have to go now. Mummy's got to go. Mummy's got no money to buy cars. And he had a bit of a cry, but only you could put up with daily. I know.
Yes. All right. Well, he can go and dry. He can go and dry them. But you've basically you've had a good day, very different to how it would have been because you've been much more assertive, much more in control, and much more positive in your head.
I know. Yeah.
Is that wee or water?
Yeah, it's wee.
All right then, off you go because he's actually, I think, doing it now, isn't he? All right, sweet. Well done.
Not a bad day, you know.
Don't worry. Top mum. See you in a bit. See you in a bit.
Oh, come on.
Sean Weston continues in his efforts to separate from his overly clingy daughter Tallulah by playing with the other children in the house.
You have to sit right on the foot. Oh no! Oh, you're stuck down.
Come on, my horse. Come on,
I'm getting up. Hang on, whoa, children, whoa. Hang on. Are you all right, mate? Oh. Do you want to do chasing me? Yeah, you also. Or do you want to just sit and watch? Sit and watch, because you're a bit tired. It's all right to have a rest for a bit. Come on, let's pop you on the chair for a minute. Ooh, you have a rest there for a bit.
Mum Fleur tackles tea time with son Bradley.
You had a bit of chicken. Yay! Good boy. And a bit of apple too. Yay!
Dad Ian joins Tanya in her office for a one-on-one chat about his role in finding a solution to Bradley's eating problem.
Do you think if by nature you were not so anxious you'd be able to cope with this stuff better? Do you think your character makes it difficult for you to cope with the stresses and strains of life?
It's really, it doesn't help. It's I often think to myself, as you put it like that, sometimes I go out and have a fag, look up at the sky and think, God, my head's spinning. I can't slow it down enough to go 1, 2, 3. You know, put something in perspective. It's just, whoa, it's just so much. It's just overloading.
Well, it feels to me that you and Fleur kind of have very different roles. It's you seem to hold all the emotion, you get overwhelmed and your head's kind of crashing and spinning, and she just blocks it out and pushes it away.
You just don't want to know. It's just
So
that didn't happen.
But she's kind of at one extreme end and you're at the other extreme end. But it makes you sad.
And I don't like to cry really, which is not
really
that it's, I
want
don't find it embarrassing, but I do, but it's.
But
I don't know,
there's a lot in
try
there.
to hold it.
Hold it all in, like the anxiety just all stiff and tight and coiled up sort of thing.
It's a survival thing. It's what's holding me together, I suppose. Yeah.
Can I ask you something? Do you feel like you've let him down, Bradley?
Yeah.
Tell me how.
Well, as it's more coming out about the food thing, you know, the way I've done this to him, not.
Do you feel that you've done it to him?
I didn't before, but the more as the circle goes around, it all, you know, comes back.
It breaks your heart.
Yeah, because I can't let him down.
Do you want to let your son down?
No, I won't. But I am.
Are you now? Here? Today?
No, so we're trying to work out and do something for him And don't forget Jasmine as well.
Absolutely.
Like you say, because she's getting pushed out, and she like you say, we never noticed it before, but she must be looking at us like you've shown us. She's just staring. He's getting all the attention, and he's been getting. You don't notice it when you're at home because it's spinning. You don't get to look on the teeth and wow, she's just looking. You can see her looking at him.
Yeah.
You know, why is he getting all that? But you can't see that otherwise.
So hence when he's...
Like I say, we're here, I'm talking to you to guide me, I suppose, in the right place. That's what I'm here for.
Absolutely.
Anyway, to be guided, not for you to do it all, but to be guided, you know, put my hand up, miss.
Yeah.
What the hell do I do now? Run out of ideas.
So when Bradley picks up that apple and you see him put it in and he takes a tiny bite and he swallows it and you're cheering inside, and then he picks up and he does it again, what is it inside you that makes you keep going on at him and on at him and on at him?
That's the question. Why did I do that? Because I almost know I'm doing it. It's obviously the anxiety, I suppose. Well, he's done it. You know, let's do the old apple now. You know, do it.
But what do you recognise that actually that will do?
Well, I know it's gonna force him off.
I think as husband and father, I think you will not ever be effective until you can stop being anxious and powerless and start saying, right, we're taking control, like you've started to do with your little boy.
Mummy, do you know what I didn't do at the table once?
What?
I didn't make a fuss.
You didn't, did you? You were so good.
Yeah, I added a bit of chicken, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
It's bedtime, and the remarkable progress made so far by all three families is clear to see. After their virtually tantrum-free trip to the toy shop, Claire Carroll continues her good work, calmly settling her son Callum in his own bed, yet again without any need for his dummy. During the week, Bradley has gone to bed with barely anything eaten all day, but tonight he turns in after a very successful day at the dinner table, trying new foods.
Are you alright? Huh? I'm scared of mine. Do you want to come in mine? Come on then. Come on. Could you bring them to me? You'll bring Teddy.
Having settled their children, Tallulah and Taro, Sean and Helen Weston spend some time alone to discuss what's been an incredibly emotional day for both of them.
But I can't communicate with you on some things because you just retaliate.
You look at it retaliating, I look at it as just putting my point of view.
But you're nasty with it. You're always nasty with it.
What, and you're not?
Verbally.
What, and you're not?
I don't say some of the horrid things that you say. It's almost like you've got to get one above them, you know?
I probably do say horrible things, but I'm sure you do too.
No, I'm not aware that I'm doing it. If I was aware that I'd do it, then I'd say, yeah,
well,
okay.
you threatening to leave me every couple of weeks or every month isn't mental torture to me for
So I've done
so
that in the
many
last 6 months, have I?
Yeah, since Tallulah's been born, you've been doing it. And Tara.
I have not.
You have. You threatened to go and move on to the top floor several times a year since they've been born. What security do you think that gives me? I must be so insecure with my partner saying that to me. I never say it to you. I never say, oh, I'm going to leave you this month. I never, ever say that to you. I've never put you in that position to feel on the end of those comments. How would you like that said to you on a regular basis? Pardon?
I'd go.
Yeah, but I didn't. I didn't throw the towel in. I've stuck with it, and I'm hoping that we can still sort it out.
No, I don't know on the small issues.
I don't want any more.
A lot of what we talked about is history.
When I confront it, it makes me want to walk away, okay? When it's fresh and it's raw, I don't want to be here.
What about Tara and Tallulah, though? Don't you think they deserve two parents that love them equally? What?
Haven't they got two parents?
Yeah.
So what are you on about?
Well, you're on about, you just said you want to walk away.
I said when it's fresh and it's raw, I want to walk away. It's not saying I am, is it? It's not saying I'm leaving you tomorrow.
No, but... Let's stop blaming each other for things. You might not agree with what I'm saying, I might not agree with what you're saying, but let's stop blaming each other, because I'm sure nobody had any bad intentions, did they? Going forward, I want to do the right thing with Tallulah and Taro that I haven't been doing right, especially with Tallulah, and supporting you and backing you up. Because I see, since I've been here, that I haven't been doing that very well.
Tomorrow on the House of Tiny Tearaways.
I think you're trapped in an impossible situation.
Leave him. Oi! You say sorry to him right now.